welcome to another edition of Windows Security AD. In today's installment I wanted to talk about another subject that is actually connected to tiering. In the previous video I showed you how you can set up tiering in the main in your AD environment, and now we're gonna talk about PAWs. What is PAWs? So it's privileged access workstations. So in simplest terms, a PAW is a hardened and locked down workstation designed to provide high security assurance for sensitive accounts and tasks. PAWs are recommended for administrators of identity systems, cloud services, private cloud fabric, and sensitive business functions. In other words, we are gonna implement a lot of different GPOs that are gonna be helping to harden your AD environment. Okay, because implementing tiering and creating OUs is one thing, but you need to actually link some specific GPOs to harden your tiering and your Active Directory environment. So that's what we're gonna do now. So I'm gonna go to my PAWs folder that I have here. Of course, once again, those scripts were found by me on the internet. They are not mine. I don't claim any kind of copyright to them. So they are free of use, from at least what I know. You can find them on the internet, or you can download them from one of my links that I will try to link below this video. Okay, so first of all, what we need to do, of course, we're gonna open PowerShell. We're gonna open our Active Directory, so we're gonna use that as well. Okay, we're gonna group policy management. We're gonna need this as well, so I'm gonna show you all the things that are gonna be attaching themselves to the AD environment. And for this presentation I have also prepared a Windows 10 environment, just a basic Windows 10 Pro that we are going to add to the domain, and I'm going to show you after we apply those GPOs what's going to happen and how it's going to how the workstation is going to actually react. Okay, so let's go back to those scripts. So first of all, we're going to use the PAW steps. That's the first and the main script that we're going to be actually using here. So I'm going to apply it here, and let's take a look. Basically it starts like the previous one. If you have seen my tiering video, it's almost the same. So of course we need to specify our location for our PAWs folder, so just bear in mind that you need to change this location, because in my case is on the C drive, AD Security Master PAW, so I will just copy this location and I'm going to change it here. Okay, and now we can actually start. Okay, so the path has been set, importing module active directory module has been updated. Okay, so now first region create users. So we're gonna use here create users in PS1 file here. Create users is in scripts, so we go to the scripts, we got here create user. We can open this. Okay, and this is basically how it's gonna run. So this is an example how you can run this, and that's basically how it's implemented here in the script. Okay, so let's first start. So as you can see, D and root, right? Import CS file. So we are basically gonna be using a CS file files. CS file file. I'm gonna take a first look here. Yeah, okay. So let's open it once again. Okay. So let's run the first step. Okay, and first of all, we need to set the full path for the user's CSV file. So you need to go and look for the user's CSV file, and user's CSV file is just here, so you need to open it. Okay, just let's open it, and of course I'm gonna change all of those things because I don't want them to be like that. I'm just gonna create my own user here. So I'm just gonna create John Connor and John Connor is gonna be in OU accounts in OU tier 1, so he's gonna be in the main admin group. He's gonna be in OU admins, and he's gonna be in domain admins, so he's gonna have all the permissions and privileges of the main admins. Okay, so next we got, of course, tier 0 pipe maintenancer, tier 1 again, tier 1 user again, tier 2 user, and here again, tier 2 user. Here we have a bunch of different accounts, just random accounts. I'm not gonna change them because they're just like accounts that are gonna be enabled users. They are, as you can see, they have different kind of permissions set to them. The only thing you need to look for is actually we got this user. As you can see, he's part of DNS admins. So I'm gonna scratch this one out, because if you have any kind of administrators in your AD that are part of DNS admins, that's a no-no, because that's a first and easiest step to get yourself PAWed. So you should always check upon those permissions. Never create DNS admins, basically. So I'm just gonna scratch this because it's a security threat. Okay, so we're gonna leave it on default. Accounts test, just a test group. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna save the file, and since it's gonna use this file, I'm gonna just copy everything here. Of course, we need to add here users CSV, and now it's gonna be creating the users. So as you can see, creating user John Connor under the OU accounts, tier 0 admin, yeah, adding the user to the group of domain admins, and so on and so on. It's gonna create just a bunch of users. Our next step is gonna be region import GPO. So basically what we're gonna do here, we're gonna import all the GPOs. So that's the first and major step that we're gonna do. So we're gonna have in our environment GPOs, but they are not gonna be linked. And the second step is linking all the GPOs that are gonna be here to certain places. So as you can see, what kind of GPOs are going to be important. Do not display logon information. That's the first GPO that's going to be there. It's going to be linked to devices in tier 0 in OU admins. And also it's going to be linked to tier 1 and tier 2. Okay, and also it's going to be in tier 1 servers, as well as the workstations OU. What is do not display logon information? Basically, when you log off from your workstation, you have basically almost every time written what kind of user has logged on recently to the workstation. So basically this GPO is gonna prevent that. So somebody that is gonna be trying to log into the computer or workstation or server is not gonna see the users that were using it previously. Restrict quarantine logon. Well, this thing is gonna be very handy because it's gonna be corresponding actually to the quarantine OU that was created in our tiering. If you have followed my previous video, we have actually created in our environment quite a lot of different tiers, and we have created OUs like quarantine, and we have also created tier 1 servers, of course. We have created workstations where we have our workstations like desktops, laptops, and so on, so on. We got, of course, our groups, bunch of groups here, and we got users and user accounts, and here we have enabled users and disabled users. As you can see, those users that we have created right now, some of them have been added to enabled users. So these are users that you can actually try to use to log into your environment, and these users are the disabled ones. So this is what this script did, at least this part of the script. Next, so okay, let's now try to import the GPOs, because this is basically one of the most important things here. Okay, so the GPOs are being imported right now, and I think we're gonna go to our group policy management, and in our forest we're gonna see, because I want to show you where the GPOs sorry, the GPOs haven't been linked as of yet, but we got group policy objects, and here our GPOs were created. So we got, of course, the default domain control policy, default domain policy, and here it is, do not display logon information. We can it's not enabled. Okay, let's check here. Information, if we go to settings, you can actually check how it actually looks. This is the delegation Windows settings and security settings, local policies, interactive logon. Interactive logon, do not display a last signed in person enabled. So this is the option that was enabled here. Any other things? Interactive logon, do not logon display user information when the session is locked. Do not display user information. Interactive logon, don't display username at sign and enabled. So this is basically what this GPO does. Restrict quarantine logon. Let's go to settings, security settings, local. So basically this is quite a lot of different things. Allow logon on locally, deny log as a service, deny logon locally, interactive logon. So basically what's this GPO is supposed to do. So every time you are actually adding a computer to the domain, the proper way to add the computer to the domain is this way. So you should go to the OU that you have created, either desktop, laptop, or whatever it is. Then you should actually create a new object. So if it's a computer, we're gonna create a computer. You should add the name of the computer, and so on and so on. You should basically create a object in the domain for the computer, and then after it's created, you need to add the computer, or specific person with the privileges should add this computer to the domain. So this is the best practice and the way that it should be actually done. It shouldn't be done like you're going to the workstation, you're just changing everything in the settings, adding the workstation to the domain. It pops into the computers folder, and it stays there, or it's moved by your admins to different kind of OUs. So first of all, one and basic rule of the domain, you should always make a redir from the computer. So you should never keep your workstation servers, whatever you add into the domain, in your computers. This should be only a place where the computers actually, when you add them, if they are uh, going into this place, they should be instantly redirected to a different OU that is blocking them. That's why we have created the quarantine OU. So what I'm going to show you is how to make a redirection, instant redirection. When I'm adding anything to the domain, it's going to fall into here, and then it's going to be instantly redirected to quarantine. And from quarantine, nobody can actually do anything with it until the admin goes there and actually moves the workstation to a specific location in the tiering environment. So this computer cannot be accessed, and this is how it should be actually done. So this particular GPO is responsible for blocking all people who are trying to log on to to different kind of computers, either by RDP or just sitting by them. They are trying to log into their own accounts, or maybe they are trying to log in from a different IP address to the specific computer in the domain using credentials, and they are in a different tier. So basically somebody's in tier 1 and he's trying to log into a workstation or a server that is in tier 0, and he's gonna be blocked, and instantly his workstation should be added to quarantine, and this kind of message should be displayed on their screen. Dear user, the computer was moved to quarantine. Will you please contact the help desk at this phone? Computer in quarantine. So basically, it's kind of how you can say it. It's kind of precaution for all people that are trying to um, log into workstations or servers that they are not allowed to, or they shouldn't. They are just trying to get there because maybe they got their hands on some kind of login information inside your company, of course. Okay, then we have tier 0 path configuration for computers. Let's check here local users and groups. We have here quite a lot of different stuff. Administrator built-in, backup operations, cryptographic network configuration, power user, remote desktop, replicators. Let's check local group, path maintenance, backup built-in local group, delete all member users, enabled member groups enabled. So basically what it is, it's a bunch of settings created in order to harden your environment. You just need to, basically everybody needs to go through themselves and check which kind of option they would like to have, and if you don't want to have it, you need to just disable it. Power users, yeah, local groups, replicators, and basically a lot of settings for different kind of groups. Security settings. Let's check what do we have here. Allow log on locally. Firewall. Firewall is also enabled here. Global settings for the firewall. The main profile settings done. private profile settings done, public profile settings done, involved rules, quite a lot of them as you can see configured. Need to go through them, see what kind of rules do you want, which ones are not applicable to your environment, outbound rules done as well. So basically this is like, those are like predetermined profiles for computer, for user. Connection security settings, administrative templates, network and connection, and there you go. Log dropped packets, log successful connections, log path and name, size limit. Okay, so Windows Defender firewall, and so on and so on. So basically, this is for tier 0, this is also for tier 0, so this is for the computer. All the settings for computers, this is settings for the users. Once again, Windows settings, registry, these are proxies that you can actually use with specific ports. You can change the ports, you can set up proxies as well. You have them here, all the settings regarding proxies and all of this. And here we have configuration once again, profile for configuration, Windows settings, registry, autoconfig URL, general. Okay, and of course for servers, right? And for servers. And of course user configuration is disabled here. Okay, security filtering. Okay, right, so this is all for tier 0. The same things, so basically all of those things are for tier 1 as well. Right, for tier 1 and for tier 2 workstations you got here restrict workstation logon, security settings, local policies. Then I log on through terminal services, right? Then I log on locally as a service. Then I log on as batch job. Allow log on through terminal services. Allow log on locally, and here are all the groups that are allowed for that. So we got administrators here. Here again administrators, DDR, tier 2 service, the cooperators, and so on and so on. So certain groups that are denied and certain groups that are actually allowed. And these are the basic setup GPOs, quite a handy thing because these predetermined profiles are very handy. It's basically all of the basics. The basic configuration here is done. So we've got like basic hardening done. You just need to take a look which things regarding the firewall you want to apply. Okay, but let's go back to the script because I've been babbling here for a time about it. So we have created the GPOs. Now we're gonna need to link the GPOs. So let's actually link all the GPOs. We're gonna take a look here. And once everything is done, we're gonna refresh our forest, and we should see. Okay, should be done. So let's refresh everything, and now I'm gonna open certain tiers so you can see where the certain GPOs were attached. Okay, let's open. So as you can see, basically, of course, in the tiers, just how it was said that they will be. In the quarantine, restrict quarantine logon, of course, this GPO is linked to tier 1 servers. User accounts, let's check disabled, here's nothing. Okay, workstations, of course we got workstations here, we got 2 main GPOs linked. So basically this is how it looks. All the GPOs have been linked and are active right now and enabled. What they are doing, I told you just a couple of minutes ago. Okay, so what now? Now at the end, since I haven't created a server, because in this environment somebody that created the script also added a workstation and a server to this environment, because that was like for showing how the server and the workstation will be behaving in the environment. I'm just gonna use my workstation, a Windows 10 that I have created. So I'm not gonna use the server. So I'm just gonna scratch this, and I'm gonna scratch this as well. That's fine. This was for the server as well, and this was for the server as well. So basically that's the end of our script. We have created the GPOs, we have linked them, they are enabled. So now what I wanted to show you is the thing that I was talking about previously. What happens when you don't do a redirect? Of course, that's if everybody knows that. All the workstations. So this is a Windows 10 workstation that wasn't added to the domain. So let's add it to the domain, and I'm gonna add it to the domain manually. Add it manually the bad way, let's say. So I'm not creating the object in the domain first and then adding it. I'm just adding it from the workstation. So not the best practice applicable here or applied. I'm just gonna copy this name because maybe I'm gonna use it. Just gonna copy this to the script here. That's the name somebody used for their own purposes. I'm gonna use mine. Okay, so I'm gonna do it like that. I'm just gonna check in my environment. Let's check in the users. I'm just gonna create one user very fast, just like an admin. Okay. Of course, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm just doing this for the sake of this presentation. Never do this stuff. Okay. Just gonna take a look here. Okay, it's gonna be part of administrators group. Okay, now let's actually I don't know if I actually I changed it. Okay, previously fine. Okay, so there we go. Hello, welcome to the domain. Yeah. So we're gonna just restart, and now if we take a look, of course it has been added to the computers. Shouldn't be here, it should be in the quarantine. But I wanted to show you what's gonna happen if I actually move this. If I'm gonna move this computer now to the workstations and to the desktops. I'm gonna move it to the desktop OU. So here, and as you remember, desktops have those two GPOs, so do not display logon information. That's the first thing that is here, and the second one, tier 2 restrict workstation logon, right? So these are the things that are actually Logon locally for those people, allow logon through terminal services for those ones, and all of those are denied. So let's check. For now it's restarting. I'm gonna pause it because it's gonna take a moment. Okay, so it's back. Now we can actually check our Windows 10 workstation. So if we go to login screen, as you can see, the GPO has been applied. So going back here, if we take a look on the GPOs, do not display login information is applied. We don't have any kind of information who's been logging in here, who hasn't. Of course, now we can log in here. Let's say on the local account. Okay, so basically, of course, we can go here from here to RDP. We can try and log in remotely. Let's say we're gonna use this remote login, and this is the IP address of my domain controller. And let's just actually try to log in as one of the users. So we got here enabled users. Let's check enabled users. Let's take Loki for instance. Okay, right, and as you can see, this user of course cannot enter because he doesn't have certain permissions. He's in a different tier, so won't be able to log into different kind of servers, workstations, whatever from this workstation. Okay, so these are the settings that have been applied, just like quite a lot of them here. I'm not going to show all of them, but the main thing is the computer, after we added it manually, went to the computer's OU. It shouldn't, it should go to the quarantine OU. And this is what we're gonna do now. So I'm gonna go back here, I'm gonna just pop it out of the domain. So let's actually go back to work group. Go back to work group. Okay, I was gonna be out of the domain. Let's actually take it out of here. It's in the desktop, so I'm just gonna remove it. Okay, and now what we are gonna do, we need to actually, I'm done with this script. If you want to move it manually to quarantine, this is the way to do it. You can use this line to move a certain kind of objects to quarantine. If you want to do it with script, object, or one object, or maybe group of objects. But since I'm not gonna use the script anymore because the OUs and the GPOs are set up, I'm gonna use a different script. That's in others. I'm gonna link it as well. We got other steps here, other steps, and in other steps, what we have in other steps. I'm just gonna do this. Okay. We got the redirection from the computers to quarantine. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. The basic first thing we're gonna do. And the redirection was successful. Okay, so the redirection from the OU computers to quarantine has been done. So now let's test it. Let's once again add this workstation to the domain and let's see if it works. This and every other workstation or server, whichever you actually add manually right now, they should be popping up in quarantine OUs. A quarantine OU. Okay, let's go here. Let's add it. Loads forever. Okay. Okay, fine. It's fine. And now we're just gonna restart everything and let's go to our server and we're gonna check. And this workstation should pop up here. And here it is in the quarantine. So it's not in computers anymore, it's going to the quarantine. So now every kind of workstation server that is gonna be added like this manually is gonna pop up here in quarantine. One other thing that I wanted to actually try. So I'm gonna wait until it actually loads. Well, what do we have here? We got region site that we can also do. Oh, we got like subnet details here that you need to provide if you're gonna be using this, of course. Let's see. I'm still loading. Maybe for now I'm just gonna skip this. Let's just check what we have here. KDS root key. We got password policies here as well. We got ID recycle bin. This is the thing that everyone should have enabled. They should have this region DNS registration. Yeah, that's also important. So let's go with this one. It's gonna be registering our DNS in our workstations and so on, and GMSA for MDA. So okay, let's go back here. It's still working on, and there you go. This is the thing that I wanted to show you. So basically, once the computer is in quarantine, this is how the GPO is gonna work, the one that we have actually attached. So there we go. My computer now is in quarantine because it has been added manually by somebody, some administrator or some user add the computer to the domain. And it shouldn't be done like this. It should be done like I said. You should go to the workstations, desktop, laptop, create an object, and then add it to the domain with certain privileges by a certain kind of person, but it was added by a rogue person or whoever. Somebody added it. It was sent to the quarantine, and this is basically what the user is gonna see displayed after logging in or trying to log into the workstation. So, of course, this can be modified. It's in the GPO. And if we go to the GPOs, let's check group policy objects, restrict quarantine logon. Sorry, I think I'm gonna need to do it like this. Settings, yeah. Security settings and options interactive logon. So basically, as you can see, somebody just put it in here. It can be changed in those particular options. So you can write your own things that you require with your own phone number for your help desk or something else, like a warning sign. Okay, so basically this is how the GPOs work with the workstations. This is how you apply PAW for workstations and servers. If you like the video, of course, as always, like and subscribe. And well, the computer now is in quarantine, so yeah. I will see you in the next video. Thanks.